I'm Pattie Sellers, editor-at-large at Fortune magazine.
I'm Joe Benaroch with Media Brands, and we're here again on MediabrandstV, powered by Microsoft Advertising. So you just got out of Biz Stone's presentation, and you had some interesting perspectives, and so I wanted you to share them with us.
Yeah, well, what most interested me about his presentation was he talked about seeking revenue seriously for the first time. That's one of their missions this year, and good. Twitter wants revenue, so they're trying to develop a revenue model. And at the same time, he said, the real reason I came here is because Cannes Lions Festival is the biggest collection of creative people anywhere, and I want to soak that in. Well, you know, they need to be really creative about finding a revenue model. So, you know, that's a really good example of creativity and business working together, converging.
Do you think that it's possible that Twitter will actually be able to land on something that will monetize this product the same way that Facebook and all the rest are actually starting to think about their models? Do you think that that's something that's actually in their future, or do you think that they should be a platform that's all about just socializing and kind of conversation generation?
Well, they can't be a platform that's just about socializing and conversation generating and revealing the news before AP reveals the news or before CNN reveals the news. They've got to figure out how to make money, and what he talked about as the way into that was somehow taking advantage of the companies that are on Twitter. He mentioned Whole Foods, he mentioned Dell, he mentioned JetBlue as companies that are finding a lot of value in tweeting, communicating with customers that way. And he said there's value in that, and we need to find a way for them to pay for that. And he also said we need to find a revenue model because it will legitimize us. It will show that we are a self-sustaining company, and if we prove that we're a self-sustaining company, we'll attract more developers to build apps to improve Twitter.
The insights might be the way in which they monetize. So the perspective, say for example, like Whole Foods. It would be interesting if Whole Foods was actually able to buy the thoughts and buy the conversations, and Twitter was able to actually kind of aggregate those perspectives, and they can start to change marketing behaviors, opposed to it being a platform that they're just putting their brand on. What's your perspective there?
I don't know. I think you're thinking way down the line there. Yeah. You're thinking about Twitter becoming a sort of market research and analysis company, aren't you?
Could be.
Maybe Nielsen would buy them someday. I don't know.
Right, because that's where I think like Facebook could potentially make their money. I mean, if you think about them as more of a social science kind of opportunity, or what's your thoughts there?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he said, you're asking me, and Biz Stone doesn't even know. He said, we don't know what we are. Yep. We don't know what we'll be. He said we're about 1% to 2% in terms of figuring out who we are. And the one thing actually that really impressed me is that he's very unarrogant. He is very much all about, we don't know a lot, we don't know who we are. When people say to me, we're your competitor, I like to say, can't we just be friends? And we want to be complementary, and we want to work with companies, and we want to help them. Whether they're media companies, whether they're other internet companies, whether they're consumer goods companies. And I think he's really smart for taking that approach.
Have you seen a brand that you would be able to comment on or want to that has actually activated Twitter?
He mentioned Whole Foods and Dell. Right. And JetBlue as three companies that are actually using Twitter effectively. He said that the way JetBlue developed its Twitter capacity has been really smart. He said they started slow, they made some mistakes. Initially they were twittering links to their press releases, which is what you shouldn't do. And he said now they use Twitter to communicate with their customers and issue notifications about rain delays and route changes, and keep it simple. Valuable content. Make sure that you're generating the conversations. Well, you're generating the conversation that people want. You're not just. That's just. And you customize your message to the platform.
Now, so aside from the social networking, is there something that you specifically came to Cannes to find? Like, were you seeking something?
I came to interview Steve Ballmer, to tell you the truth.
Wonderful.
I'm interviewing Steve Ballmer on Wednesday, And hopefully that interview will be packed to the rafters as Biz Stone's session was.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I hope actually after your interview with Steve that you'll come back and you'll give us some insights on it.
Okay. Good. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.